We are in the game. Let's jump to the action. Spawning down in the bottom right hand position as the red Protoss player. It is none other than Ourk. And his opponent in the top left, the green Protoss player, ZAiN. As I take a sip of tea, like a boss, and I realize I forgot to put any sugar in my tea. That is really bad. That's really bad times, not having sugar in your tea. Tea should be with milk and 1 sugar. Very British that way. Or a sweetener, if you're one of those sort of people. Sweetener people are always peculiar. Sorry if you're a sweetener person, but sugar's where it's at. Just do it. It's like Pepsi Light. The amount of times... Like, people who go to McDonald's and order, like, a Diet Coke. Doesn't make logic to me. And I know that was bad English, it was intentional. So, gateways coming down on both sides. So far, neither player going for any crazy proxies or going for anything untoward. ZAiN being very sure to check around every area of his base, be like, please don't be building a base in my base. Please don't be building a base in my base. Ourk also being like, please don't be building a base in my base. Everyone checks down here now. Every Protoss player. After that game where Huck had the proxy 2 gate in it. That was bad times. Stop laughing at my cup in Twitch chat. I showed my cup on stream, if anyone's watching on YouTube. And it's big. I have a big cup. But yes, so far, Ourk just checking everywhere. Literally everywhere possible that there could be a proxy coming down. He does not feel safe. He does not feel secure. He wants to make sure that everything is going good. Now, there is a pylon coming down the back, and of course, we know that a pylon on the back of mineral line potentially will equal a Twilight Council. But yeah, in now comes the probe for Ourk. He's going to say, yep, that is a pylon, and that is a cybernetics core. You have got 6 probes in gas. Meanwhile, Ourk sitting there, 6 probes in gas too. Tech heavy is on its way for both sides. Neither player. Well, tech heavy because this is before the cyber core is even done. ZAiN even more so. ZAiN is getting like a huge amount of gas. Ourk though still chilling around here, being like, yep, keeping an eye on what you could be doing. Want to see if you're chucking down a Twilight Council again because DTs ruined my day. They were disastrous to my day in game number 2. And of course, he doesn't want something like that happening again. And there we go, ZAiN is chucking down that Twilight Council, but it's not being seen by Ourk. Ourk is sitting there and he's like, I see the little glowy effect on the top of the Nexus, which means the mothership core is coming down. And that simply means that, hey, mothership core, gonna kill my probe. I'm gonna be very, very cautious. Okay. What can we get now? What is the important thing that we have to be seeing any second? And well, it's what's coming down from this Twilight Council. If the Twilight Council gets blinked, then it'll be blink. If it gets a Dark Stride, it's going to be DTs again. ZAiN just is like, ugh. DT's good. He's taking on the essence of a ninja. And that's definitely what he wants to be doing here. Basically, that means that he's got the option of trying to deal a good little bit of damage if he can sneak them in again. But Ourk is being so careful. Ourk also busy getting down a Stargate at the back of his base. This could be for Oracle because there's a lot of dead space around here. It could be Phoenix. Phoenix are solid. But I'm hoping for an Oracle. And the reason I'm hoping for an Oracle more than anything else is simply because, well, it's got detection. And that's why I'm glad to see it, because detection means that DTs are now, hopefully, for Ourk's sake, not going to be too effective, because he can't at least see them, which was his problem in the last game. Now, up now we go. A little stalker waiting here for ZAiN, trying to hide the fact that he's getting some sneaky DTs through. ZAiN, even with a pylon on the high ground, Ourk is unbeknowing of this. Ourk just like, yep, everything's good, everything's safe. Probe, still not going to see it. Look at it. Look there it is. It's there. It's hiding. Look how close that vision was. But still unbeknown. ZAiN's pylon down there on the low gun has been spotted, and that means the Oracle comes back. Nice play there. Being revealed. And of course now, boom, detection goes down. Photon overcharge goes down. 1 DT will be able to get back. Second Oracle on its way though, so there's going to be plenty of energy for that lovely, lovely detection. And that is, well, That is really looking good now for Ourk. He takes out the proxy pylon. Going to go and take out the second proxy pylon. May even find the third proxy pylon and kill them all. ZAiN trying to expand behind this. Just a standard DT expansion coming down here. The only downside is his... Well, the only downside simply is that he made 2 DTs rather than 1. If he made 1, totally fine. If it gets seen. 2, it's just a bit more of an investment to deal no damage with. So, not perfect, but Ourk is getting his expansion a bit later, roughly around 40 seconds later, which isn't massive, but it's just a bit of time. ZAiN's going to be able to get a few more probes out. He's already up by 1 probe, but he's going to get a bit further because he's still producing probes. So Ourk is currently cut probe production for the moment. He's also getting down the Observer too, and that means that he's got permanent intersection, so he doesn't have to worry about the Oracles. The Oracles did try and move in there to deal some damage. Ourk managed to kill 3 workers. Sorry I missed that on camera. There is a second Oracle. Yep, there we go. So that's going to come in trying to do a little bit more damage too. All in all, if he's able to deal with a bit more probe damage, it would be good. Ourk, this probe. How is this probe still alive? This is Ourk's probe. He's getting down a pylon in the base. ZAiN! ZAiN! Why? Why, ZAiN? Please go and look. That is just, look at how close he is to seeing it. It's right there. It's just right there. Okay, anyway, in now comes the Oracle. Gonna try and deal some more damage. Of course, the pylon ready to warp in some more stuff. Potent overcharge triggered. That's quite good, forcing that. This Oracle's suiciding its way in just to get a couple of probe kills. In total now 6 workers have been killed, but Ourk now leveled out in terms of the worker count, both making 2 probes at a time, which is, yeah, 2 probes at a time, 2 bases, not too bad. Another DT getting ready to go for ZAiN. ZAiN with the Warp Prism is going to come and drop up into the main base. He had success with this against Boombox previously, I believe. It was in game 1 against Ourk. No, it wasn't. It was against Boombox. He did exactly this, and it worked really nice because there wasn't detection up here, and there isn't again. The Observer is with the army currently of Ourk. He's got 2, but I'm not quite sure. Oh no, the second one is there. I take it all back. Probes though are going to be fighting a DT. This is a nice little bit of counter damage coming in here, but unfortunately probes are very effective at dealing with DTs with the aid of a Stalker, but not when there's a push in the front as well. ZAiN, he's good damage. That force field is so on the money. Seriously, that force field, amazing. Chain force fielding. The Mothership Core will go down. ZAiN dealing a bit of damage. He needs to kill as many probes as he can. He won't get the Nexus, but also needs to get out of there, if at all possible. Doesn't want to take more damage than is required. ZAiN there managing to kill 10 workers with both the DT drop in the main and also this push into the natural base. Very effective for him. And with that, he's now sitting there feeling, ha, I'm up in the worker count again. Good times. I picked off a Mothership Core. In terms of total resources lost, it's very similar, 1650 to 1575. Not too much in terms of change. Ourk still has this proxy pylon though in his opponent's base. There's a small supply block for ZAiN too. Bit frustrating. But if Ourk actually could squeeze a warp in, if he could squeeze the warp in through, it would be very good for him. If he could just get it in the back of his base, it'd be amazing. There we go. We've got some Zealots. But is this going to cause Ourk to not have enough in the front to defend with? Well, the Immortal's taking a couple of shots of damage. The Zealots now moving in. I don't believe that the Mothership Core could go for a mass recall, but already a lot of damage being done here. May get a warp in back at home, but it could also just be that ZAiN decides to go for it. And if ZAiN does go for it, that would work nicely for him. He's got to try and get some damage done, but no, his mass recall's out, and already he's taken a good amount of damage. But ZAiN has done some more damage too with 2 DTs up into the main base. Both sides harassing each other, trying to pick away things here and there, anywhere that they possibly could. The Immortals dealing a good little chunk of damage to this proxy pylon. They don't want any more of that hassle coming through. No, ain't nobody got time for proxy pylons in your base or warp prisms, and that's why you see Ourk with these units up there for the time being. He's also getting a photon cannon down just to stop that kind of single DT harassment from that warp prism coming in and ruining his fun. Worker count is still in ZAiN's favour by 5, not the largest amount. ZAiN is though getting down his robotics base, so he's going to get some Colossi out. And once you start seeing Robo Base at this sort of time, sort of anything past about the 12-minute mark, I tend to consider really late PvP timings, and especially when you see both the Twilight Council, the Templar Archives and the Robo Bay, that's like super late game PvP. But Ourk, he's only now just getting down his Twilight Council. Both players getting their +1 attacks at very similar times. Their upgrades are a bit slow, so not too much to really talk about there. Ourk's got both of his proxy pylons down on the map, only one down at the moment for ZAiN, but ZAiN does still have that Warp Prism as an available option. Really, really good to see it. Now, are we going to be able to see a little bit of damage from this Warp Prism? Probably not. There's a good number of Stalkers here, waiting to just deal with it if it tries to come forward. However, ZAiN ready to expand out to the third, and just look at the Immortal count, it's crazy. He's got a Colossus on the way too. Adding on a couple more gateways, not researching extended thermal launch yet, it's worth noting. So just spending as much time as he can pumping out Colossi, prioritizing that. ZAiN should start extended thermal launch soon though, because he's just chrono boosted his Robo Bay. He's chrono boosted it, but he doesn't, as of yet, have extended thermal lance researching. This is a bit of a mistake from ZAiN, wasting a chrono boost there, a little bit frustrating, and also missing the upgrade. I think he thought he started it, and this is going to be a little bit problematic for him if he doesn't identify that soon. Meanwhile though, Ourk only just now getting his 20 archives down, as well as the Dark Shrine. So going to be looking to do a little bit of counter aggression. Both players though grabbing on some cannons just in case there's another warp in. Of course, we've seen both players take damage from those warp ins earlier on, but still we see just a little bit of a move forward. These Stalkers, these Immortals, trying to creep their way in. Are they going to be able to go for it though? Without extended thermal lance, that's going to be without extended thermal lance, it's going to be tough. And now ZAiN realizes he has got extended thermal lance started. There's a grand total of 2 Colossi on the field, 5 Immortals up against 4. The army supply slightly more for ZAiN, but not by a huge chunk. He's getting an Archon in the mix as well, and that's going to be really important, getting that Archon in there. Just going to allow him to crush any force fields that are thrown down without having to use the Colossus, obviously, which you don't really want at the front. But yeah, here we go, pulling back, a couple of force fields down, Time Warp being used. The Archon pushing forward, knocking out those force fields very quickly. And still, Photon Overcharge triggered. ZAiN applying the pressure. We do have DTs though counter-attacking. One of the lateral was taken out. Oh my goodness. The Robo Bay. There's nothing to attack the Robotics Bay. An Observer trying to come out desperately. Is the DT actually going to be able to take this out? It may do. If this goes down, it would be huge, especially if it went down before extended thermal lance is done. It's going to be so close. The Observer is nearly there. It's a couple more hits. Is the Stalk going to be able to do it? It's going to be so close. I think the DT will be able to snipe it down. That means no more Colossi, no extended thermal lance. Great snipe from that. And well, that was absolutely crazy. What? Insane. Ourk is also doing a nice little bit of damage here. He's got 2 Zealots, which are taking damage, or soaking up damage from that Photon Cannon. And now with it taken down, there is the detection here. Oh no, something's throwing detection. There must be an Observer around. But yeah, a couple more probes are getting killed. Meanwhile, big engagement here at the natural. Better attack arc for Ourk, and ZAiN taking some fire, being pushed back for the time being. But ZAiN has just got an overwhelming force. Those Colossi dealing so much damage. I think ZAiN is going to have enough now. Warpins coming through though, but the Arc, the Immortal's still up. There's a good number of DTs though for Ourk, and without the Observer here for ZAiN, he's forced to retreat. Smart Warpin. Really clever. That was just crazy. Getting those DT Warpins, such a smart play. Third base has been up for a long time for Ourk, whereas the third only now just coming through for, sorry, it's a long time up for ZAiN, only just now coming through for Ourk. And well, damage being done very nicely. Probes being pulled, so that's hurting a bit. Probes being pulled actually here for Ourk now, but he's still got those DTs, and those DTs are incredibly frustrating because it means that ZAiN can't move in without taking so much damage. All in all, we see, of course, DTs though for ZAiN cleaning up everything. This is like DT on DT war. It's hilarious. DTs are coming back in though. Of course, 4 DTs better than 3. And, well, it's going to be tough. A couple of DTs swiping through. There's no Observer here, so this DT may get a couple more kills. Total workers killed at 20 to 23. Very equal. ZAiN walking in an Archon. Another cannon trying to get down. Is there an Observer? Yes, there is. 2 of them coming over. Twice as many as needed, but means that DT does get killed exceptionally fast. And well, Robo Bay being reconstructed now. Of course, it came down early for ZAiN, if we recall, but was then sniped off by 1 Dark Templar of Ourk. And all in all, if we were going to be able to get some damage done, you're going to need Colossi late game. It's just essential to get some of that splash damage down. Lasers, of course, look awesome. And well, now we do see a couple more movements forward. We've got the Archon still sitting there. We've got a good number of cannons coming down to the fourth base for ZAiN. ZAiN taking a fourth already. Damn, that's fast. And well, ZAiN, he's trying his utmost to make this work. He wants to win this game. He wants to go in to the semi-final. Into the final and get those points, that chance to headset. But now we see, of course, a couple of Zealots getting annihilated here as ZAiN tried to go a bit more counter aggression. Both players losing, well, one losing 24, one losing 23. And with that, that's a huge amount of fire being taken. It's a lot of flak, and really you don't want to be losing that many probes. But since it's on both sides, it leveled out. ZAiN, though, is still up by 9 workers, and he's also got a 4th base up, as Ourk only just secures now his 3rd, so economically that's looking quite good. ZAiN as well has the option to produce 2 Colossi simultaneously. Find that Ourk, if I'm not mistaken, still does not have a robotics base, so he can't make any Colossi. That's going to be frustrating for our Red Protoss player. But more gateways coming down, a little bit of wall-offs coming down here, more cannons, always good little bit of SimCity. That poor DT is going to die as he tries going through. The proxy pylon being discovered. Ourk now moving forward. He's going to see that there's a lot of Colossi here, and he's going to be thinking, that's a bit problematic. Ourk, though, up in army supply. A lot of that army supply, though, is in the form of Zealots. He's up at 29 Zealots to only 8. But can they deal the damage that's required? Yes, they have charge, but they've got a lot. They've got a big ask. And remember as well, ZAiN has got +3 ground weapons compared to the +2 of Ourk's. Ourk's +3, not going to be done for a long period of time. About 120 seconds from now. And that will seem like an eternity, especially when ZAiN going for a big Zealot warp in to the 3rd base of Ourk. This is a lot of probes going down now. Ourk is taking significant losses, and this might force him to actually go on the offensive. There's 2 Immortals sitting back at the natural base though, which I don't know if Ourk is aware of, and Ourk coming back to try and defend against the ZAiN, looking so strong. And well, all in all, this is Ourk taking a lot of fire. He's now lost 44 workers, 20 more than his opponent, and he does manage to snipe down that Nexus. That is a great snipe. That puts Ourk down to 2 bases. ZAiN on 4, remember. He's up at nearly double the worker count. As long as ZAiN doesn't do something crazy or get a terrible engagement, Ourk is in a tough spot. But here we go. Units coming in. Luckily, though, for Ourk, there's a good number of these Colossi. None of them actually engaging his army. They need to be getting in on the fight. Are now going for it. They're right off on the flank, so they're not getting any focus fire, allowing them to deal out as much damage as they can. That additional +3 to +2 ground attack really helping ZAiN at the moment. Ourk taking so many losses. Those Immortals getting focused down incredibly quickly, and while there might only be a small army remaining, there's a lot of Colossi. ZAiN is going to be victorious, taking this best of 3 2-1, and will advance